Hi, thanks for joining us today. So we're going to do a 30-minute class today, just based around really strengthening our glute and obviously engaging our core as always. So we're going to start in sitting, so make sure that weight's going evenly through those sitting bones. That's still staying up nice and tall, that chin tucked in, my ribs are soft and collarbones are nice and wide. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to just go into a mermaid stretch. So I'm going to put one hand down to the side. We're just going to stretch out our spine. So we're going to reach one arm up and over, just stretching out to the side. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, reaching that arm up and over. Good. And the opposite side. So we're going to reach that arm, coming down to the mat, opposite arm over. Breath in. And as you breathe out, just reaching that arm up and over. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, reach that arm over. Good. Take a breath in here. And as you breathe out, coming back up and over. Good. And again, the other side. So reaching that arm over. Breath in. And as you breathe out, reaching up and over. Good. And again, reaching that opposite side. Good, lovely. And lifting up. And then opposite side last time, reaching over, dropping down, stretching through that side. Breath in. As you breathe out, slowly coming back down. I'm just going to roll those shoulders and just relax from here. Good. Okay, so we're going to go into 4-point kneeling straight off. So we're going to come round and onto all fours. So from here, make sure those knees are underneath those hips and those hands are underneath the shoulders. So in this sort of box position. Those elbows should be nice and soft as well. We're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to do a leg pull and prone. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, just going to lift the knees just an inch or so off the ground. And as you breathe out again, lower back down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, lifting up, breath in. And as you breathe out, lower down. So really engaging that tummy as you lift up, breath in and down. Now don't lift those knees too high. You can see I'm only going just an inch or two off the ground. If you go too high, it actually makes it easier. So just really keeping that control as you're lifting and then lowering. Good. Now if that's feeling comfortable, we can bring one hand, another hand and a half in front. If that feels enough though, stay at that level. So your hands are sort of just in front of you here. Breath in again to prepare. As you breathe out, we lift the knees up again and then shoot forwards over those hands. Breath in. As you breathe out, coming back to that start and then lowering. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, lift at the knees, reach forwards. Breath in. As you breathe out, coming back to that box position and lower down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, lift the knees, reaching forwards. Breath in. As you breathe out, lowering back down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, lifting at the knees, reach forwards if you can. Breath in. As you breathe out, coming slowly back. So we're going into this sort of plank position. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, lift up and then you shoot that body forwards. Good. Breath in. As you breathe out and lowering down. Good. And again here, breath in. As you breathe out, lift up, reaching that body forwards. Now staying here if you can, we're going to raise one leg and then the opposite leg. Good. So let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to that box position and lower down. Fantastic. Let's do that one more time. Breath in. As you breathe out, lift up, shoot forwards. And again, we're going to 1, 2, alternating sides, 3, and 4. And lowering back down and drop down. Very good. Let's drop down into that child pose stretch and have a nice stretch out here. So just breathing in and out. On that out breath, if you can, just sink down into that stretch a little bit further. Breath in. And as you breathe out, dropping down, sinking into that stretch. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, relaxing down a little bit further into that stretch. Very good. One more breath in and out. And just dropping down into that stretch. Good. So we're going to come back up into 4-point kneeling just to work into our bottom muscles a little bit more. So we're going to just extend one hip. So really in that right angle with the knee. And we're going to pulse that heel up towards the ceiling. So now my back is staying flat. I'm engaging that core. I'm really using those glute muscles to push that heel up towards the ceiling. So I'm pulsing that foot up. So it's a little movement. You see my leg isn't going that far. So just pulsing that leg. Still breathing in and out as we're pulsing that leg and that extending that hip. Good. So it's really hard getting those glutes working. Breathing in and out here still. Pushing that heel up to the ceiling. Good. Extending through. Keeping that core engaged and that back nice and flat. Well done. Really feeling those bottom muscles working. Well done. Good. And last one. And lower the leg down. Very good. Okay, we do the same on the opposite side. So coming up, that knee's at that right angle. And then we're pushing up, pulsing that leg up towards the ceiling. Good. So just keep pulsing that leg. That core is engaged. My back is staying flat. So actually the movement is coming from that hip. I'm extending that hip, using those bottom muscles to move my leg. Good. Breathing in and out still. My core's still engaged. Pulsing. Good. Last few here. Really kicking in those bottom muscles. Well done. Last few. Good. And one more. And then lower that leg down. Well done. Very good. Okay, so we haven't quite finished with those glute muscles yet. So still staying in that 4-point kneeling position if you can. We're going to extend one leg. And we're going to go into a one-leg circle, but from this position. So we're going to lift that leg, and we're going to come round in a circle, just controlling that circle movement just as far as you can, okay? So keeping that control, circling around, using those bottom muscles. Now, just like we do when we're on our back doing this exercise, just make sure your circle is as big as you can control, okay? So not too big a circle, controlling that movement around. Well done. And let's change direction. Circling around. Very good. Keeping that control as you're coming around from here. Well done. Last few. And one more circle. And then back to that centre. Lower the leg down. Well done. Okay, last time on the opposite side. So we're going to extend that leg behind. And I'm going to come round in that circle. Keeping that control. Nice and smooth movement. So again, that circle as big as I can control. My back's still staying nice and flat. That core's engaged. I'm circling around from that hip. Very good. Keeping that control as you're coming around from here. Good. All right, let's change direction. So if you're starting to feel that's difficult to control, just make that circle a little bit smaller. Just feeling that hip moving around, circling through. Nice and smooth movement. Good. Lovely, keeping that core engaged. One more circle here. Bring that leg back to that centre, lowering down. Very good. Drop down, have a stretch out from here. Lovely. So just breathing in and out. On that out breath, just sink down a little bit further into that stretch. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, just dropping down a little bit further from here. Good. Then if that feels okay, we can bring those hands and just relax those shoulders now down by our side. So we're in that sort of fetal position. So those shoulders stay nice and relaxed. Arms just relax down by your side there. Breath in. As you breathe out, just relaxing down. Good. And again, breath in and out. Just relaxing down that little bit further. Lovely. One more breath in and out. And relaxing down. Good. So we're going to walk back up. And we're going to come down onto our sides now to work our bottom core a little bit more. So if you've got that thicker block, we can use it here. So I'm going to come down onto your side. So you can use a thinner or thicker block, or just something to support your neck if that feels comfortable, just so your neck is in that nice alignment. So we're going to start with our clam movement. So our feet and hips are roughly in that line, along with that shoulder. So those 3 points, if I was against a wall, they'd just be in contact there. So we're going to drop that top waist down so you feel the underneath waist just lift a little bit underneath you. Imagine you've got that little grape or chocolate there, you don't want to squash it. So we're going to keep our feet together, push through our heels, lift up that top knee and lower. Good. So as I lift up that top knee, not letting those hips roll back, you're keeping those hips stacked as I'm lifting and lowering through that top knee. Good. So lifting and lowering. Keeping that control as I'm lifting that top leg and lower back down. Make sure those hips don't roll back. We're keeping them stacked as you're lifting and lowering that top knee. So it's often sometimes you find that those hips want to roll back, so really try and watch that. So they're staying really stacked on top of each other. Make sure you haven't squashed your grape, keeping that lifted. Good, so we want to feel it in that back pocket side area. If you don't, you may want to just straighten or bend those knees up a little bit if you need to, okay, just to get it working in that right place. Good, so either staying here, this level, or if you can, we're going to raise those feet up to hip height, then lift up that top knee and lower. So feet together, lifting and lowering, good. And again, lift at the top knee and lower. So keeping that control as you lift and lower through here, good. Hips staying stacked, lifting and lowering that top knee. Very good. So keeping going, lifting and lowering. Now on this next one, we're going to lift that top knee. If you can, keep that knee raised, and we're going to stretch and tap for 8. We get 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and one more. 1, and then lower that knee back down. Well done. Lower those feet down. Then we're going to do last few if you can, lifting and lowering that top knee. So push through those heels, keeping those hips stacked. Still haven't squashed your grape. Keep that waist raised as we're lifting and lowering. Good. Good. Let's do one more and relax that leg. Well done. Give that muscle a rub. Have a little rest here. So we'll just rest that top leg. While we're resting the top leg, we can just lengthen that lower leg. And keeping this top leg rested, either just have a rest here for a minute, or while we're doing that, we can just lengthen that lower leg and do a few little pulses of that inner thigh of that leg on the floor. Keeping that core engaged, my upper body's nice and relaxed, just pulsing through, just breathing in and out, pulsing into that inner thigh. Good. Breathing in and out. And again, breath in and out, pulsing that leg. Well done. One more. Breath in and out. And then relax that leg down. Well done. Okay, so we're going to bend our legs back up again. Keeping those hips stacked, we're going to do our side kick movement now. So really challenging that control around the pelvis and those glute muscles again as well. So that core is engaged. We're going to bring that leg up to hip height from here. Now keeping that leg at hip height, we're going to just slide the leg forwards and then glide that leg back. So keeping that control as you're gliding forwards and gliding back. Good. So glide the leg at that hip height position forwards and back. If that feels comfortable, then you can straighten the leg and then we glide the leg forwards again and glide back. Now if that leg's straight, we can point the toes to glide forward, flex the foot to glide back. Point the toes to glide forward, flex the foot to glide back. Good. Now if you want to challenge it a little bit more, you can straighten that underneath leg just to challenge the balance a little bit, but we'll keep moving that top leg gliding forwards and back. Now make sure that leg is staying at that hip height position, okay? If you start to feel it dropping down towards the floor, you just need to lift that back, because that's part of that challenge, is to keep that leg at that hip height level. So it's really making those glutes work hard to do that. That core's engaged. It's not a huge movement, gliding that leg forwards and back. Keeping that control, gliding forwards, gliding back. Good. A few more here. Really working through that leg. If your leg is straight, both legs are straight, you just might need a little bit of a fingertip balance in front, then do, but not too much pressure through that upper body. Good. Gliding forwards, gliding back. And again, glide forwards, glide back. Lovely. Let's do one more here. Glide forwards, glide back, and then bring that centre and back down. Well done. Bend those knees back up. Give that muscle a rub. Very good. Okay, so we're going to even ourselves out and do the same on the opposite side. So we'll come round, bring that block with us if we're using it. So coming down onto that opposite side. So feet and hips are roughly in that line, along with that shoulder. So there are my 3 points of contact if I was against a wall. Making sure those hips are really staying stacked on top of each other. And we're just going to drop that top waist down to feel that underneath waist just lift a little bit underneath you. Remember, if you've got that little grape, don't want to squash it there, trying to keep that underneath waist lifted. So feet together, we're going to push those heels, lift up that top knee and lower back down. So pushing those heels, lift up the top knee and lower. Making sure as you lift up that top knee, not letting those hips roll back, we're keeping them stacked as you're lifting and lowering from there. Good. So keeping those hips stacked as we're lifting and lowering. Well done. Remember, we want to feel it in that back pocket side area. If you don't, you may just need to straighten or bend those knees up a little bit more, just so you get to feel it in the right place. Good. So keeping that control, lifting and lowering from there. Well done. Good. Now, that feels comfortable. Then we're going to raise those feet up to hip height. Keeping those hips stacked, we're going to lift up that top knee and lower again. Very good. So again, still keeping that hips stacked, my core's engaged, that waist is lifted. Make sure you haven't squashed your grape. Keeping going here, lifting and lowering. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to lift that top knee. If you can, we're going to stretch and tap that leg for 8. So we're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then lower that knee back down. Lower the feet down. We're going to do last few if you can, lifting and lowering that top knee. Keeping those hips stacked, that waist gently lifted. Well done. Last few here, lifting and lowering. Really getting those glute muscles working. Good. Oh, let's do last couple here. And one last one. Oh, and let that leg relax. Drop that leg in front. Well done. Give that muscle a little rub and have a stretch out there. Good. So while we're stretching that top leg, either just have a rest here if you want to, or we can do a few little pulses of that inner thigh. Breathing in and out, that core's still engaged. My upper body's nice and relaxed. And I'm just pulsing through that lower leg. Good. Breathing in and out here. And out. Pulsing through that leg. Good. Keep going. Breath in. And out. Pulsing that leg. Well done. Last few. Good. One more breath in and out here. And then relax that leg back down. Well done. Okay, so bend both legs back up again. So we're going to do our side kick movement again. So make sure those hips are really stacked on top of each other. That core's gently engaged from here. So we're going to bring that top leg just to hip height. Start with keeping that knee bent. I just want you to slide the leg forwards and sliding it back. So it's a really gentle gliding movement forwards and back, keeping that control through that pelvis as you glide forwards and you glide back. Good. So keeping that control, gliding forwards, gliding back. Well done. So if that's feeling comfortable, we can straighten that leg, glide the leg forwards and gliding it back. If that leg's straight, we can point the toes to glide forward, flex the foot to glide back. Point the toes to glide forward, flex the foot to glide back. So keeping that control as you glide forwards and you glide back. All the while keeping that leg at that hip height position as you glide forwards and you glide back. Well done. Gliding forwards and gliding back. Lovely. So really keeping that core engaged, that control. If you want to challenge it a little bit more, we can straighten that lower leg as we did before. You may want that hand in front for a little bit of balance, but just fingertips touching, no pressure through that upper body. Good. So making sure still that leg is staying at that hip height. Just check with that hand if you need to. If it's dropping closer to the other foot, just restack and restart that movement. Good. So keep that control, gliding forwards, gliding back. Well done. Glide forwards, glide back. Last few here, keep going. Gliding forwards, gliding back. Glide forwards, glide back. Well done. And one more here. And then relax that leg back down. Good, and bend those knees back up. Very good. Okay, so we're going to come round onto our backs. We'll just drop that block behind us. We'll come round onto our backs from here. And we're just going to stretch out through our legs that we've worked a little bit. So we're going to put one foot onto the opposite knee and allow that leg just to relax open there. If that's enough of a stretch, then just stay there. Or if you can, we're going to bring the other leg up in towards you, just as far as you feel comfortable, and just feel a stretch through your bottom here. We're going to hold this stretch, so just breathing in and out. On that out breath, if you can, just sink down into that stretch a little bit further. If you can, Holding that stretch there. Good. Breath in and out. Sinking down that little bit further if you can. Good. And again, breath in and out. Sinking down a little bit more if you can. Breath in and out. Good. And again, breath in and out. Holding that stretch. Well done. No tension to that upper body. Just relaxing down into that stretch. Well done. Good. And then relax that leg back down. Then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So opposite foot onto the other knee. Allow that leg just to relax open there. If that's enough of a stretch, then just stay there. Or if you can, we're going to bring the other leg up in towards you, just as far as you feel comfortable. Then holding that stretch. Breathing in and out. On that out breath again, sinking down into that stretch a little bit further if you can. Holding that there. Good. Breath in and out. Relaxing down. Well done. Breath in and out. Relaxing that leg down. Well done. No tension to that upper body again. Just keeping nice and relaxed as you drop down into that stretch. Well done. Good. Breath in and out. Lovely. And then relax that leg back down. Okay, good. So we're going to stretch our hamstrings now. So knee up to the ceiling. We're going to lengthen through the back of the leg. Feeling that stretch through the back there. Just going to hold this stretch. Good. So just supporting that leg with your hand if you want to. Just to give that little bit of support through the back there. Feeling that stretch into these hamstrings here. Good. Now we're going to change your stretch just slightly. Point and flex through the foot. So just moving a little bit at that ankle. So pointing and flexing through that foot. Good. And then point the toes up to the ceiling again. Hold that stretch again, lengthening through. Good. And then bending back at the knee and lower back down. We do the same on the opposite side. So knee up to the ceiling. We're going to lengthen through the back of the leg. Holding that stretch there again, supporting that leg with your hand if you want to. Just easing into that stretch gently. Don't overstretch it here. Just breathing in and out. Feeling that stretch into those hamstrings here. No tension through that upper body again. Good. And then we're just going to point and flex the foot here, just adding a little bit of ankle movement. Good. And then pointing those toes up to the ceiling again, holding this stretch. Well done. And then bending the knee and then lower the feet back down. Very good. Okay, so just going to do a little rotation movement. So arms down by your side or out to the side of you slightly. Just going to drop those knees over to one side. Turn that head to the opposite side if you can. Then use those toe muscles to bring the knees back up to that centre. Then over to that opposite side. So just a really nice gentle stretch here. Dropping those knees over, turning that head, opening out through that lower back. Use those toe muscles, bring the knees back up to the centre. And then over to that opposite side. Good. And again, drop the knees over, turning that head to that opposite side. Using those toe muscles to bring the knees back up to the centre. And over to the opposite side. Good, just do last few here. Just opening out through that back, enjoying that stretch. Use those toe muscles to help bring you back to that centre. And then over to the opposite side. Good. Back to that centre, well done. Let's just do one last one each side. So just dropping those knees over, using the tummy, coming back to that centre. Over to the last time on the opposite side, using the tummy, back to the centre. And those arms relaxed down by your side. Very good. Okay, so we're going to come round and up into sitting again. We're just going to finish with a few gentle stretches here. So just relax those shoulders. Still staying nice and stacked. So those sitting bones and my weight's nice and evenly through those sitting bones there. Nice and tall, that chin just tucked in. Very good. Okay, so we're just going to bring our hands in front and I'm going to just turn my fingers away. Bring those hands to shoulder height. Drop the chin down to your chest. Look up to those hands again and then both together we're going to reach up and open those hands nice and wide. Good, and again. So hands together, reach those fingers away. Come up to shoulder height, drop that chin down to your chest. Look up to those fingers, and then both together we're coming up and opening wide. Good, and again. Fingers clasped, reach the fingers away, hands up to that shoulder height. Drop the chin down to your chest. Good, looking up to those fingers, and then together we're reaching up and opening wide. Lovely, one more time here. Fingers together, reach those fingers away. Come up to shoulder height, drop that chin down to your chest. Look up to those hands. Together we come up, open nice and wide, and then relaxing those shoulders back from here. Fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed the class today. Remember, if you've got any comments or feedback, you can just use our comment section below.